All right, so can everyone see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Drawing something, right? So whatever I've just told using for that pull request, I will try to explain that using uh, the whiteboard. Okay. So the point was what happened. There was a branch called as develop branch. This was the branch. Okay. Now then, what happened at this point? At this specific point, I created my branch, which is test case number, sorry, test branch TC0025. Okay. Then what happened? Then maybe at this point or maybe at that point, at some point, Sarang also created his branch, which is this TC027. So now I am also working in my branch, which is this. So I am working on my branch. Oh, 1 minute. So I am working on my branch, which is this. I am committing. This is commit. I have committed something. Uh, then I have committed something. I have committed something here, right? So these all are my commits. So I'm making changes. And at this point, I realized I need to merge my test case 25. And Sarang also realized at this point that he need to merge it. So what will happen? Sarang as well as I will go and create a pull request to merge my branch. Okay. Now the thing what happened is Sarang created a pull request. I also created a pull request. Both of us created a pull request. So while when we created the pull request, we did not get any conflicts. So as soon as Sarang, which is test case 27, let's say someone merged his pull request, approved his pull request and clicked on merge pull request. What happened? Sarang made a change in a file. There was a file which Sarang made some change, and that file is now part of the develop branch. So whatever Sarang made changes, it's now part of the develop branch, and that file name was homepage.feature. Now what will happen when I raise a request? Now what will happen inside my pull request? I will get an error. The error was because in the same file, in my branch, in the same file and in the same line, I also made a change. So what will happen? The Git will say, if you do this, then this change will be removed. Okay. And that's why it is confused. It is now confused which changes to keep, your changes or test case 27 changes. Right? And that is why I need to resolve this conflict, because Git will not delete anything. Right? So Git will say, guys, can you all go on mute? I am getting an echo. Right. So what Git will say, first you need to resolve the conflict. Okay. So how the conflict will be resolved? The same file, I need to investigate what is it which my changes deleting inside that specific file. If whatever changes which I am deleting is useless, then I can say remove that, keep my changes. If my changes are useless, then I will say okay, keep this change, keep this change. If I want to keep both, then I will just modify this file inside my branch here, and then I will commit it. So this is just nothing but how Git manages different branches and different files. Git will say you might delete something, it will not allow you to delete something. And instead of deleting it, it will say conflict. If Git finds it safe, then there's no problem. So I'll just give you another example here itself. So let's say there is a file. Let's say this is a file. And in a file, you have number of lines, right? So let's say one person is making a change here. Sorry, one person is making a change here, and you are making a change here in your separate branch. So Git will have no problem merging it. So Git will take the file, it will insert that person's change at the top and your changes at the bottom. No problem, right? So it will say auto merge successful. Will have no problem merging these two different files. Now Git will have problem when your branch is making a change here and there is another change made by someone else and he also made a change here. Then Git will be confused on which file to keep, this line to keep or this line to keep, right? And then it will say, I will not delete any of these files. I will not overwrite anything. I will say conflict, and I will not allow the merge. So that once it says conflict, then you will have to modify or make changes. You have to understand, investigate what is the conflict, and then you have to talk to people, converse with them. And once that is done, only then you decide what to keep, what not to keep, and then you merge it, and then you commit it. And only then Git will say, okay, I will allow whatever you are now saying. Okay, now the thing is, you will not understand it unless you try to do it. So don't try to learn it by theory. I have given you, what I've given you is a practical explanation of it, but for you, it is just a theory still. Unless you practice it with your own branches, unless you face these conflicts, only then you kind of understand what's really happening, right? So what I will recommend you guys to do is, where am I? Okay, what I will do is, or what you guys all should do is, I will again add you guys, not all of you, only people who are interested in doing it. What I will do, I will add you again to this branch. Okay, this specific branch, sorry, not branch, this repository. And what we will do is, we will keep a same file. Maybe we can say, okay, let's all work on homepage. So what we'll do is, everyone will be working on homepage, on only on this feature file. You guys will add some test cases, you guys can modify some test cases, right? You can just, everyone will do, make changes in this file in their own respective different branches. And then all of you will go and create a pull request. And the moment one pull request is approved, all the other pull requests will start getting conflicts. And then all of you will have to resolve those conflicts. The idea would be, every test case which is being added by everyone should be part of this eventually. So let's say, Pooja, you create a test case. You will say, you will write a line like this. You will add it here. You will say, created by Pooja, Pooja test case. Do something like this. Okay. If someone else is doing it, then you will say, copy, and you will create your test case. You will say, let's say, Preeti is creating it, Preeti test case. Okay. Usually you will not see this, Preeti will not see this, because this is not Preeti's branch. So Preeti will have something like this. Preeti will create her test case. So everyone will go and create their own test cases, and then eventually you will create a pull request so that it gets merged. And once it is merged, once a single PR is approved, all of you will get, all other PRs will get conflicts, and every one of you will have to resolve those conflicts one after another. So that is what basically we will try to practice, and then you might understand a little bit about what's happening behind the scene, how it works. Maybe while in theory you will not get, complete picture how this works, but that this is very important concept. Without this you cannot survive, because that is how a team more than 2 people work in a standard project. Okay, so don't miss this. This is important activity which every one of you need to learn, and I'm not asking you to write any code. All I'm asking you to do is to modify one file and see how is it going. And we can also do that in a separate, like in our assignment repository. There also we can do, but let's try to do that here. All right. And any questions on this so far? Pull request thing, anything which you didn't get, I'll try to explain that again. Okay, if no questions on this, then what? Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
सपोज अभी 4 लोग एक साथ काम कर रहे हैं, ओके, और चारों ने पहले से ब्रांच में से आपने लोकल इस पे कोड लिया हुआ है मास्टर ब्रांच से,
राइट,
और चारों ने भी चेंज एक ही फाइल में चेंज किए। सपोज अभी कॉमन पेज एलिमेंट की फाइल है, उसमें सबने चेंजेस किए, आपने अपने एलिमेंट डाल दिए उसमें। किसी के कॉमन एलिमेंट्स भी रहेंगे, किसी के सपोज एक एलिमेंट उसको भी चाहिए था, मेरे को भी चाहिए था, वो सेम एलिमेंट के लिए उसने एक पाथ निकाला है, मैंने सीएसएस सिलेक्टर लिया है,
राइट,
सेम हो गया, एक ही उसने अलग लाइन पे डाला है उसको, मैंने अलग लाइन पे डाला है,
राइट।
ऐसा सबने किया हुआ है और सब पुल रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। तो कौन सा रखना है, कौन सा नहीं रखना है, कौन डिसाइड?
Once the conflict will come, then you have to discuss. So let's say you wanted a new locator here, so you will say new locator. Okay, and you use ID here. someone else used XPath, and he also said new locator. Now, unless and until the same line has been changed, nothing will happen. Both of the locators will get entry into this file. So if you're making changes here and the new person is making changes at the top, right, conflict will come because something will be overwritten. But if you're making changes here and some different method is present somewhere else, maybe then the conflict will not come. Conflict will only come if the similar lines are being changed. And I'm assuming both of you have added your lines here at the bottom here, right? So what will happen at this line? The conflict will come. So Git will say, you have tried to add something here, but someone else also tried to add something here. That's why conflict. Once conflict come, it will require your attention. Then you will say, okay, I shown you that view, conflict resolution view. There it will say, you added this, he added that. What you want to add? Then you will talk to that person. You will talk to the team lead. You can talk to the people, relevant people, and then you decide which one to keep. This one to keep or that one to keep. If you're keeping your changes, if you decide you have to keep your changes, then you will keep your changes, you will discard his changes, and he will have to work it out again. He will take again things from develop, then he will modify things, and then he'll commit again, right? So conflict really are there for discussion. So one conflict comes, then you can actually go and discuss that with the corresponding relevant people, respective people, and then you decide which one to keep. If, for example, there is already a locator and ID is sufficient, then you just keep ID. You will not say, okay, I'm removing XPath, because you can't keep both the changes in this case. In this case, you can, because in previous cases, there are two separate test cases, so I had to keep both the cases. But in this case, there's a duplicacy. You also adding a locator, he is also adding a locator. So we all only have to keep one locator, right? And that way, that case, you have to discuss and you have to, conclude that or agree to each other that which one to keep. Got
नहीं,
it?
लेकिन सपोज अभी सर सबने चेंज, अभी एक ही पेज है और एक पेज सबके पास, सबने सुबह के टाइम में अपने इसमें मास्टर ब्रांच से लोकल ब्रांच पे ले लिया और सबने उस पेज में अपने अपने तरीके से चेंजेस कर दिए। सपोज बीच में चेंज कर दो तो नीचे का कोड सब नीचे चला जाएगा क्योंकि लाइंस चेंज हो जाएगी, सबके लाइंस
Right.
उसमें
तो
चेंज हो जाएगी।
conflict आना ही आना है. So conflict will come and then you discuss with each other to resolve those conflicts.
तो अभी सब शाम के टाइम में सब सपोज सबने सबको कमिट अपना कोड डाल दे, मास्टर में मर्ज करना है तो सबको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आए तो सारे रिजॉल्व करते बैठेंगे।
Yes, सबको नहीं आएगा. See, the moment one person will commit it and one person put PR pull request is committed, उसको नहीं आएगा. The first person who will merge, उसको नहीं आएगा. बाकी को आएगा. तो सबको, of course, everyone has to resolve the conflict. Without resolving the conflict, you cannot merge. Right? So you have to, everyone has to work on it, what really happened. So if they will see the conflict, right, they will see this is added, that is added, then they can decide at runtime. So I decided runtime, right? The same thing happened with me. There was a conflict, so I agreed, I saw it, and I didn't even go to Sarang to discuss it. I knew that, okay, this test case Sarang added, I need to make space for it. So I myself modify the code to resolve it. If there's a new method addition by someone, I have to keep that method addition. I cannot remove that method addition, right? So what I'll do, I don't even have to go to that person, because I know this method is important. Someone has added that method. So I will just keep that method and I will move my method somewhere else at the bottom, and I will remove those faltu lines, extra lines which get added while during Git resolution, and then my file will be ready, and then I'll commit it and I'll merge it. Then the next person who is trying to do, he will again see conflicts. So when he will try to resolve conflicts, he will have two changes, one by person one, second by person two, and then he also has to make change, add his change. So he will also make a way. He will write, he will copy paste, he will move code from here and there, he will keep your changes as well, person two changes and his method also, and then he'll resolve the conflict. It's not that big a deal. Okay, it can be done in very short time. Only thing is, when there is a problem, something like this, when there's a risk of a duplicate method, right? Let's say I am creating a method for search and that person also created a method for search. So that's a duplicate method we both created. Okay, and when that happens, then it requires a discussion. Why you have created this and why you have created that. And that is very usual thing to happen. It happens every day, basically.
Okay.
Okay, I can tell you few more examples. So if you search Selenium here, or even Cucumber here, so you know Selenium, Cucumber, they both are open source projects. How they grow, how Selenium grew to become such a useful tool is by taking changes from people who want to push their changes, right? So if let's say you think Selenium is short of something, Selenium doesn't have some important functionality, what you can do is you can create your own changes to that, and then you can also create a pull request. You see this pull request in Selenium, these are the changes which someone like us has tried to merge into the Selenium. Okay, so let's say you will say Selenium 5.0 has come. How it will come? Because someone from somewhere has thought of something, and they have merged, they have raised, they have changed, made changes, and they have created a pull request for it. So these all are pull requests. Admit. So these all are pull requests. So if you can even go inside these pull requests and see what's going to happen. You see, so in this case, for example, in the master branch, this particular person, this branch wants something to be merged. What it wants to be merged? So it wants this to be added there, this specific file. I think this is for C# code. So all here you see these all are pull requests which someone has created, and once these gets merged, a new version of Selenium comes into picture. That is how Selenium has gone from version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it will go till I don't know till what point. And even the same thing is happening with Cucumber. If I go to Cucumber, same thing, you will not really this. So Cucumber JVM is what we are interested in. Cucumber here. Right now there are only 3 pull requests, and if I click on this, you see the changes, and here you will see one pending reviewer, all checks have passed, branches no conflict. This branch has no conflict. It is trying to add something here. Maybe this will give us in next version of Cucumber, this will give you a new functionality, for example, something like that. Okay, maybe if I go and check this, add before all and after all hooks. So there's someone, he says we need a before and after all. Right now, if you notice, we have only before and after in Cucumber. And this guy here, this person is saying, I want another change, which is before and after all hook also is what he wants. So he has created his pull request, and he has made some changes here. And maybe if this change is accepted, maybe in the next version of Cucumber, you will have a before all and after all hook as well. Okay, and this pull request still up in a work in progress. All checks have failed. Here it's not saying there is a conflict, but some different kind of failures. So that's a different thing. It's not part of what we are trying to talk about now. So whatever pull request you are trying to put in, it also need to validate, fulfill some checks. Right now we don't have any specific checks. For example, your check can be when you try to create a pull request, everything should get executed and it should be running. We don't want a faulty code inside our develop branch or master branch. So that check is required. That is what that check is. But without digressing further from our topic, let me go back to our Selenium. Let me see if I can tell you some more conflicts there in existing code. I'll go here in the pull request. I don't know if there is any conflict I can really tell you from here. Checking for ability, this branch out of date with base branch. So these kind of things usually you will see. This is the old branch, that's why it's saying it's out of date right now with the base branch. But the idea is this, that once you get a conflict, a running project, once you get a conflict, that is how basically you resolve it, and that is how you collaboratively work with each other.
और सर ये पुल रिक्वेस्ट कब डिसाइड करेंगे कि हमें या दिन में कितनी बार पुल रिक्वेस्ट करनी होती है या एट द एंड ऑफ द डे करनी होती है?
No, pull request you create every time you try to make something. So idea is you create pull request only once for a specific branch. Okay, now for example, you are working on a branch, you can work on that branch for a day, for 2 days, for 2 weeks, or even a month. You're working on that branch for a month, for example. Let's say there is a Jira ticket for under which you need to add 15 test cases. So you have created a branch where you are every day you are adding one test case and taking 2 weeks for to complete, right? But the pull request will be one only. So the moment you make a first commit, you have to create a pull request, and every day your reviewer can go to this pull request and see what you are currently working on. Actually that is how I track the people who are working on specific branches. What I ask them to do is, the moment you do a first commit in your branch, create a pull request, and then every day they work on it, they keep on committing it, and I keep on tracking those changes from here. So in the same pull request, every commit, all the changes can be checked from a single pull request. You don't create multiple pull request, and that's what I said in the beginning also. You don't create multiple pull requests. You create only one pull request for the specific branches. So here in this case, Sarang master, right? Unless you're working on Sarang, till the moment you're working on Sarang, the same pull request will serve the purpose. If you're going to create a separate branch, you want to work on separate branch, then you again go a separate pull request for that branch. I hope I answered the question. Ram.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. What else, guys?
Sir, generally the conflicts get resolved on this website or on Eclipse.
No, the conflict usually are to be resolved in the Eclipse, not there. But to do that, we again have to reproduce the conflict, for which let's not waste time there. But the command to do that is, what you do is, for example, in this case, I can also do it from here. Let's see if I have an option here. You see this merge? So this merge can be used for getting those conflicts. So when you do a merge and you select a specific branch, what will happen? The branch, it will try to take that branch and try to merge with your branch. And while merging, you will get a conflict. If there is a conflict, if there's no conflict, it will just directly merge. And merging as the name suggests, you want to merge one branch into another. What you want to do is, what we'll do in your base branch, in your branch which you're currently working, you will try to see if there are any conflicts. So what you will do, you will do a reverse merge. So from develop, you will pull the code and try to merge it in your branch. The moment you do that, if there is a file which can be overwritten by the develop branch, then it will show you a conflict. And the same kind of thing will happen. There will be a few lines. Git will add some lines there. It will say this change is made by you. This change is made by them. What you want to keep. Then you kind of keep those files and then you resolve it in the local system. Then you do a commit. So that has to be done locally. We really don't have that much time now. We want to talk something else as well. I will not be reproducing it, but maybe I can record a separate video on it. But the concept is entirely same. Concept doesn't change here. Concept is entirely same. Concept is this, that once there is a conflict, you need to resolve it. How you will know there is a conflict? One way is you will find out from pull request. Second way you will find out is, you right click on it, you go to team, you click on merge, and you select the develop. Once you select the develop, it will try to merge it. It will say it's already up to date because we already merged and everything is there. So it is saying there is no conflict and all. But if there is a conflict, let's say we did not merge that pull request, in that case there would have been a conflict, and in that case the same effect which has been demonstrated there in the website, the similar thing will happen here in the same file home page. Here you would have seen those lines. Remember these lines came. These lines would come directly here. And from here, you will have to resolve that.
And sir, what if by mistakenly, if the reviewer added that particular
right? So there is in the pull
the develop branch or
right.
on master.
So in the pull request, let's say if I want to revert it, what I'll do, I'll remove this filter from here. I will see all the pull requests so far. So I think this is I'm committing this. I will go here and I will just click on revert. So whatever commit, whatever merged which had happened earlier, I will just click on revert and it will revert it from there. So whatever changes which was part of develop now from this branch will get reverted. Okay. So that's how basically I revert a pull request.
Do it now for demonstration.
Okay, let's see. Right. So this will not get reverted because right now in the next specific pull request, if you remember, I have also merged something on top of it. So immediately when you do something immediately, and if there is no additional commit happened after that, then you can revert it. Otherwise, you have to go through a complete route of modifying what you wish to change, and then you will do it. So pull request revert only works when when there is no additional commit happened after you did your pull request merging. For example, if I do this, let's see, if I, because this is the one I added last. So if I do this, let's see if this happens. Right, so this will happen. So if I do a revert, so it will create another pull request for revert TC025. I'll create a pull request again, and then I will say merge pull request, and now it will be reverted. Getting it? So now whatever changes which was in test case 025 are now reverted from the develop. So if I go into the develop branch, let's see, where is my develop branch here? Develop here, source test, resources, features, UI, homepage. You see my changes, test case 025 are now gone. But I will not be able to revert this. Now I think I can do it because I reverted 25. So it's one after another. Okay. So the idea is 27 I couldn't do it because after 27 PR got merged, I have merged another branch also. Right. So that's the reason it was not able to revert it, because I resolved few conflicts. I moved files here and there. So it was not directly able to do it, but my immediate PR, it was able to do it. And I think if I do it now, if I do 27, revert of 27 now, it should allow me, because I have reverted the first latest commit from here. So if I do this as well, I'm committing this, revert from here. So now it will allow me. Yeah, so it's allowing me. If I do a create pull request, so for reverting also it creates separate pull request, because revert is nothing but a merge, right? So when I say revert, what will happen? So you see it has created a branch here. Automatically it will create a branch revert, and it will remove the changes which was there in this, and then it will try to merge it. So I will say merge pull request again, confirm merge. And now it will do what? It will, if I go back to code again, here, resources, features, UI, homepage. Now I don't have test case 25, nor I have test case 27. All right, fair enough. So I've reverted 25 as well as 27. Guys, questions? Anything else in this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what is a bare repository in Git?
Sorry?
What is bare repository in Git?
Bare repository.
BAR.
BARE.
Huh.
No idea. I don't know.
Okay.
Where have you heard it? I mean, that is not a normal usage term basically. So Git is very vast, by the way. So I'll tell you, Git is very, very vast. You don't really use every concept and everything in Git. What I'm telling you is what you use, right? So bare
Okay.
repository, I don't know. Maybe you created local, as name suggests. Maybe locally you are doing something. I don't know.
It's like sub repository.
No, I don't know. No, not ringing any bell. Never used it.
Sir, can we call pull request is a combination of git pull, git merge and git fetch?
See, Git pull, Git fetch is something different. Pull request is entirely something which is very different than what Git pull and Git fetch is. So don't confuse these two things. Git pull is when you want to fetch the information present there in the system, in the repository. If you want to get everything which is there in the latest from the repository, then you use git pull and git fetch in your local system, at the client side, in local system. Pull request is a concept of a GitHub repository system. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the git pull and git fetch.
Okay.
So these two things are distinct. They are not to be confused together.
Sir, what is meant by the fork concept?
Fork is again it's a concept of this GitHub. Basically, fork is simply when you do a fork, it creates a separate you can say a separate repository system which is specific to you. When you create a branch, it actually creates that branch, specific branch inside your system, inside the repository. But when you do a fork, it is something which you have entirely took a copy of it, and you have created a separate repository out of that. And maybe there are different ways of how you can put that back inside this repository, but that becomes separately something different. Usually in the real-time project, that is not how things work. In the open source project, what you want to do is you can fork this. For example, when you do a fork, it will create a separate repository which is entirely for you. Something like that. And I think it is only a concept of GitHub. It's not there in Bitbucket, I guess. So there are different Git repository systems. There is a Bitbucket, there is a GitHub, there's a GitLab. This forking is not available everywhere. Okay.
So does Bitbucket, then GitLab are the clients, and this is the repository, na GitHub?
No. So no, you are mistaken there. Let me share whiteboard. Clear all drawings. Okay. So this is your repository. This is your client. Okay. This repository can be of different types. It can be a GitHub repository system. It can be a Bitbucket. It can be a GitLab. So these are repository system. They facilitates they facilitates code keeping, code versioning using Git system. What you have here is Git. So everyone, this is your local system, by the way. Everyone has to have a Git installed in their system, irrespective of what system they are using at here. So few companies are using GitHub as a repository, few companies use Bitbucket, few companies use GitLab, but everyone who is working on that are using Git. So Git is a client. Okay. And these are your repositories: GitHub, Bitbucket, or GitLab.
Okay, now got clear, sir.
Yeah. What else?
Sir, if somebody is asking you like why Git called as a version control system, then what will be your answer?
Because it keeps versions of the code.
Is the only one answer, or there is
I
any
mean,
other?
these are the, you can talk about basics here. So the point is, whatever changes you are making in the system, it needs to be versioned. So version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. Why we need to give versions? Because if you want to resort to a specific version, you can. So let's say I'm making some changes in a file. I'm keep on making those changes again and again and again. And there will be time after, let's say, 5th change, I think, okay, I have made 5th, 4th, 3rd. They all are invalid. I want to come back to my 2nd version. So I can do that using version control systems. So why it is called a version control system? Because it's a version control system. And there is no complicated answer to that. Git is a version control system. It keeps versions of your files. But it is a different kind of version control system. It is a distributed version control system. SVN is a centralized version control system. Perforce is a centralized version control system. Git is a distributed version control system. That means it keeps the copy of entire repository locally. SVN and all these things doesn't do that. So this is I'll send few links for you guys to understand what I'm trying to say. But Git is supposed to be a distributed, not supposed to be, it is a distributed version control system. It keeps the copy of all the branches, everything in locally.
Like all the team members are able to merge their changes in a common version.
No, that is not distributed. That is there for SVN also. That is there for all the version control system. In Git, what is there is, once you clone it, you have all the branches at that moment, and even your internet is not working, even then you have all the code of all the branches. That is what is distributed control system is, and that is not available in SVN or Perforce. So once you clone it, once you get a pull, that means all the branches which is available in the repository at the time when you did a pull, and let's say after that your internet stopped working, then, but still even your internet is not there, still you have all the branches with you. So if you want to check out to any of the branch, you will be able to check out. But that is not the case with the SVN. For SVN to work, and if you are an SVN, it only points to a specific branch. If you want to go to a next branch, you will have to again need internet, and then you will do a checkout. Only then that branch will come to your system. but that is a distinct difference between Git and a SVN. That is a distributed version control system and a centralized version control system. So both serves the purpose of version controlling, but Git is more efficient in doing it because it keeps the copy of all the files with it, all the files as well as all the branches. So I'll send a link. Maybe you can understand the difference from there. Read that out.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah. So I think we have less than a minute left now. Again, I'm not going to extend this further. I will post that in the group, guys. I will post that in the group. I will tell you guys